Good morning and welcome to our Food for Thought segment, Sports Betting Picks and Analysis. My name is Abby. Thank you for joining me. It's Wednesday, January the 22nd. We're going to go over some NBA and NHL picks and plays. Just going to do some leans and analysis for these games. So first we're going to start off with the NBA, the National Basketball Association. First game up, Phoenix at Brooklyn. Just in case you're wondering where we're getting this information from for lines and odds, oddslogic.com, the latest updated line movements, totals, over-unders, injury reports, we're getting it right here on oddslogic.com. So, like I mentioned, first game, Phoenix at Brooklyn. Phoenix is 10.5 point favorites, totals 220.5. Right now we're looking at 11.5, totals 216.5. On the injury front, first off, for the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, Ben Simmons, questionable. He has an illness. Cam Thomas, hamstring is out. Trenton Watford, hamstring is out. Bojan Bogdanovic, foot injury is out. Regarding the Phoenix Suns, the injury report for them. Nurkic, illness ruled out. Yusuf Nurkic. Bradley Beal, ankle injury, questionable. So we'll look into this game further. We'll do the breakdown here for the last 10 meetings between Brooklyn and the Phoenix Suns. So this one here, last 10. Head-to-head, 5-5, 4-6 against the spread. Brooklyn 7-3 to the over. They did play last year, November. At that time, they had everybody was healthy, obviously, because this was early in the season. November 27th in Phoenix. The total was 220. Phoenix favored by 9. Brooklyn won and covered, 127-117. So obviously, this is a revenge spot for Phoenix. Phoenix's current form against other opposition: 6-4. Last 10, 3-6-1 against the spread, 4-4-2 over under. Brooklyn Nets last 10, 1-9 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 5-5 over under. So Phoenix right now, last 5, if we condense it, 3-2, last 5 to the over under, 4-1 to the over. So last 5 they've been putting up a lot of points. Brooklyn, they have lost 4 in a row. 3 of those losses have been on the road. Second game back off a road trip. During the losing streak, they have gone 1-3 to the under Brooklyn. So they're lacking in scoring. My take here for this game, the only way I would look, let's see. I would look at a Brooklyn team total. I'm just checking here, just one moment. I would look at a Brooklyn team total under. Yeah, I would look at a Brooklyn team total under in this game. That's the way I would look. I'm trying to get the number for the team total under. That's probably the best angle, because Brooklyn, they're averaging about 100, 101 points, so they're not really scoring a lot. Brooklyn's struggling to score. I know Phoenix doesn't play defense, but at the same time I would look, because in the last meeting they won, but they scored 127 actually. So let me look here. Let me look at the team totals for a minute. Let's see. Maybe that's probably the best look I would recommend. Let's see here. I would look at a Phoenix team total over 115.5. That's the way I would look at that. Lean to team total over 115.5 for that game. As for the side, I don't have any play on the side. I just look at the Phoenix team total over 115.5. That's the way I would look. Brooklyn side, no play for the Brooklyn side for team total. Just over Phoenix team total 115.5. Now, in terms of player props for this game, a good look here for a player prop. Let's see, we got a few of them here. Let's see. Obviously, you got to look at D'Angelo Russell. That's one prop you got to look at. He's very consistent. I would look at his points over 15.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times, but he's come on the last 2-3 games. He's really coming on pretty strong. So I would look at points and assists is the best look for D'Angelo Russell. Over 23.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times, but like I said, he's come on the last 2 games, especially last game. He had 33 points and assists. So I would look at that angle. That's an angle I would look at. On the Phoenix side, let's see. Yeah, the Phoenix side, I would look at KD points and assists. Points and assists, KD, 30.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So that's the best look for KD. Points and assists. Devin Booker. Yeah, the best look. So those are the 2 best props I would do. D'Angelo Russell over in points and assists. KD points and assists. That's the way I would look for the props. Next game we're gonna look at Detroit at Atlanta. Atlanta 2.5 point favorites. Total 236.5. Right now we're looking at 230. It's come down now. It's 230. 234, and it's 2.5. Still 2.5. So the threes are starting to pop up, but it's mainly 2.5s right now. Injury report for the Atlanta Hawks. Zachary Rissancher has an abductor injury, so he is out indefinitely. Jalen Johnson's shoulder injury is questionable to play today. Larry Nance Jr. is out indefinitely with a hand injury. For the Detroit Pistons, Jaden Ivey is out with an indefinite injury. So in this game here, we'll look at the latest matchups in this game. Detroit Atlanta, head-to-head 7-3 Atlanta, 5-5 against the spread even, 7-2-1 to the over. They played already last year in November in Detroit. Detroit was a 2.5 point favorite at home. Atlanta covered, but Detroit won by a point, 122-121. And the total at that time was 227, and it did go over the total, 227.5. The current form, Detroit 7-3 last 10 games, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 to the over/under. Detroit on a 5-game road trip. This is the second road trip. They won the first road trip. They've won at Houston convincingly. And right now, last 5, 3-2. Last 5, 3-2 to the over. The last 5 games. Atlanta Hawks 5-5 the last 10. 4-6 against the spread. 4-2 over/under. Hawks off a 3-game road trip. Normally, I've mentioned this before on my videos. I like to fade teams that are coming off a road trip. So last five here, 3-2. That's 3-2 last five. Last five for the totals. 1-3-1 to the under. My take is, like I mentioned earlier, I like to fade teams coming off a road trip. That's the Atlanta Hawks. I'm definitely going to fade them. I lean towards Detroit, and I lean towards the over. This 90% chance this will make my board today, so I like those plays a lot. Regarding the props, obviously you have to look at Cade Cunningham. He's the main focal point for this team on the Detroit Pistons. I know he had a bit of an off game the last game for his points, rebounds, and assists. Let's look at it here. Yeah, actually, he did pretty well the points, rebounds, and assists. But I would look at, in my opinion, more of the points and assists. He's more consistent there for points and assists. Remember, the last game he had a good game against Houston, points and assists. Now this number is 36.5. So he's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So I can see him clearing this number here against the Atlanta Hawks. So I like that look for Cade Cunningham, points and assists. On the Atlanta side, obviously Trae Young. You got to look at those assists. I know he had an off game with his assists. I personally took him for the assist the last time, and against the Knicks he was a bit off. Didn't do too well there. But I'm still going back to it. Over 10.5 assists. The last game he had 6. So he was well short of that. He only hit it once in his last 5 games. I'm still going back to it. Like I said, Trae Young's the catalyst of this Hawks team. And I'm still going to go back to the over 10.5 assists. I would still lean that way. Yeah, I would have to look that way. That's the way I'm going to have to look. Assists for Trae Young. Malik Beasley, of course. He's been very consistent scoring. He's a scoring machine. Over 14.5 points. He's cleared this number 3 in the last 5 times. I like that look from Malik Beasley. He's been playing very well. Definitely have to look that way. Or you can look at points and assists from Malik Beasley. 17.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So either one from Malik Beasley is a good look. I like those looks. Let's see. Yeah, those are the best props I would look at for this game. That's all I'm seeing here for the top props. Let me see if I see anything else for this game. Another one you can look at, I've seen another one here. You look at Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels, let's see. Yes, Dyson Daniels is a good one. You almost overlooked this one. I will look at assists and rebounds. The clearing number is 8.5. He's cleared this number once. However, he's come close the last 2 games. He had 7 in the last game. He missed it by about 2 points. And 8, missed it by about 1 point. So I would look at, for the Atlanta Hawks, Dyson Daniels over for assists and rebounds. Over 8.5 is a good look for the Atlanta Hawks. So I would definitely look that way. Next game I'm going to look at as we move along. Minnesota at Dallas. This one here opened up 1.5. Minnesota total 218.5. Right now we're seeing 3s across the board, and the total here is right now we're looking at 216.5. This game here, look at the injury report. Dallas, first of all, Lucas is out of the lineup indefinitely. Klay Thompson, questionable for tonight's game with the ankle injury. Dwight Powell is out with a hip injury. Jaden Hardy, ankle ruled out. Dante Exum, wrist injury ruled out. Derek Lively is questionable with an ankle injury for tonight's game. Quentin Grimes, back injury, questionable for tonight's game. On the Minnesota front, I don't think they have a lot in Minnesota for injuries, but let's see. Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo is the only man out of the lineup. So this game here, Minnesota-Dallas. We'll look at the odds here. Minnesota-Dallas. Look at the last 10 between these two teams. And this is a rematch of the playoffs from last year, which Dallas eventually won. Head-to-head, 6-4 Dallas, 3-7 against the spread, 5-4 and 1 to the over. Now they've already played twice already. First game October 29th, beginning of the season in Minnesota. At that time, Minnesota was a 4-point favorite. Dallas basically covered and won the game, 120 to 114 at that time. And the total was 220, and it went over the total. Second meeting, December 25th last month, Christmas Day. They played nationally televised game in Dallas. Just bear with me one moment. Sorry about that. I apologize, folks. Just lost connection here. Just hold on. Just lost a bit of connection. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this game here, they played, and it was Christmas Day in Dallas. Dallas is a 5-point favorite. Total was 222.5. Minnesota won 105.99, and it was under the total. So they're even now. It's an even series, 1-1. This is the third meeting of the series. So I like Minnesota here. Right now, Minnesota 5-5, 4-6 against the spread, 5-5 over under. We know Minnesota's lost 2 straight games. They lost at Memphis. Had a lead. Couldn't hang on to the lead and lost badly. So I like them here in this spot. I believe they can take advantage of the Dallas situation. And the line is dictating that. It's gone to 3. The line's -3, so I like Dallas -3. I would take the money line here. I like this spot for Dallas. I like that a lot. As far as the total, this game I like. Let's see. Let's see here. I would look at the. I would lean to the under, but my stronger play is Dallas. Dallas, the money line or -3. That's my take on that. Now, as far as the player props, you obviously have to look at Ant. Ant is the focal point. Ant and his points. I would go over his points. He's the main guy on that team. So that's Anthony Edwards over in the points. Let's see his points. That's the main one. So Edwards, I look at points. Points over 27.5. I think he clears that. And he's actually cleared this number 5 games in a row. 5 in his last 5 games, he's cleared this number. So I'll definitely go back over 27.5 points, Anthony Edwards. I would even talk you off of points and assists. That's even a good one. Points and assists, I'd do 31.5. I would bet the over 31.5. He's cleared this number 4 the last 5 times. So either one, points and assists, or straight up points. You can't go wrong with that for props. On the Dallas side, Kyrie Irving. Points over 24.5. He's cleared this number in the last 2 games. I definitely would bet the over there. He's going to come to play against Edwards. He's going to have a big game. 3-point shooting, over 2.5, Kyrie. He's cleared this number in the last 2 games. So that's another good look. So for me, I would do points, rebounds, and assists for Kyrie Irving. I would do that. Like I said, he's going up against Anthony Edwards. He's going to give his best. He's going to play his best. The number here is 34.5. I would bet the over. He's cleared this number in the last 2 games. So that's a good look for Kyrie Irving. Points, rebounds, and assists. Julius Randle. I would go for the rebounding. Over 7.5. I like this look. He's cleared this number 4 the last 5 times. So Randle basically is a rebound machine. I would even go one step further. I would do assists and rebounds. I like this look here for him. Over 11.5 assists and rebounds. So I like this one here a lot. He's cleared this number 4 the last 5 times. Assists and rebounds is a good one. Gafford. Let's see. Daniel Gafford. Let's see. The best look I'd say is rebounds for Gafford. Over 7.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times, but the last game he had 16 rebounds. So I'd go back to that again. Over 7.5 rebounds for Gafford. I would go back to that. Let's see. That's all for the props for that game. So that's what I would do for that game in terms of props. Next game to look at, Cleveland, Houston. This one opened up Cleveland -3, total 233. Right now, we're seeing 2.5, mainly 2.5. The total is 230. 231. 231 right now we're seeing. So the injury report we're looking at for Cleveland. Isaac Okoro, shoulder injury ruled out. Evan Mobley has a calf injury ruled out. Karis LeVert's wrist injury, questionable to play at Houston. On the Houston side, Steven Adams, migraine, questionable. Jabari Smith Jr., hand injury, out. So looking at these two teams, let's see. Let's see here. Cleveland, Houston. Last 10 games head-to-head. 6-4 Cleveland, 7-3 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. First meeting between these two teams. Cleveland last 10 games against other opposition, 8-2. Last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Cleveland's won 2 games in a row. Covered it 2 straight games. Last 5 to the over/under. 3-2 to the over. Houston, 7-3 last 10, 5-4 and 1 against the spread, 6-3 and 1 to the over. Houston, last 5, 3-2. Houston has gone 4-1 to the over. This game, I would definitely play the over. I like the over in this game, over 230.5. I like the over. Actually, it's 231, so I like the over 231, and I like Cleveland. Cleveland on the money line and 231. I like that. That's my look for that game. Great. There's a 90% chance I'll get to that, but that's my look I like. For the props, player props, we're going to look at, let's see, Spidey, Donovan Mitchell. He's been quietly playing well. I look at his points, over 26.5 points. He's cleared this number 3 the last 5 times, so he's played very well here. I would look at, he's played extremely well. Take a look at his points, rebounds, and assists. 35.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times, and he's cleared them the last 2 games. So points, rebounds, and assists is a good look for Donovan Mitchell. I like that look. If you're not comfortable with that look for Donovan Mitchell, we have over 3.5 3-pointers. He's cleared this number in his last 2 games, so he's come on strong there. So those are the options for Donovan Mitchell. 3-point shooting over 3.5, or points, rebounds, and assists over. So either one, he can't go wrong for the over. Darius Garland. A good look for him. Assists. The clearing number over 6.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. 3-point shooting, Garland. The clearing number 2.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So another one for Garland you can look at. Actually, I would say I would go with those ones. Either the over 2.5 3-point shooting for Garland, over that, or he can do the assists, over 6.5 assists. Those are the 2 good looks for for Garland. On the Houston side, let's see. I would look at Jalen Green, over 2.5 3-pointers. He's gone 4 of the last 5. He had an off game the last game, but I look for him to bounce back, and I like scoring for Jalen Green. Over 21.5. He's gone 4 out of 5. He had an off game the last game, 19 points. I think he bounces back here over 21.5. I like that look. Yeah, I think he bounces back here over 21.5. I like that look for him. Fred VanVleet. He's had a bit of an off season. He's had an off season a little bit. He's been up and down. VanVleet. 3-point shooting is a good look for VanVleet. The clearing number over 2.5. He's cleared this number 3 in the last 5 times. The last two games he's cleared that number, so that's a good look. Yeah, I would look at Fred VanVleet over 2.5 3-pointers for him. That's a good look for props. Dylan Brooks. Best look for him, I'd say. I look at points and rebounds. That's for Dylan Brooks, over 15.5. He's cleared this number only once, and I know he had a bad game, but I think in this matchup here, I think he can pull his weight and clear this number over 15.5. I like this matchup here for Dylan Brooks. I think he can pull his weight and achieve this number and get over the 15.5 points and rebounds, over 15.5. I like that. I like that look there. Let's see if I see anything else I like. Yeah, that's about it for the props. Nothing else for the props for that game. So for that game, I said I like Cleveland. I lean Cleveland money line, and I lean to the over. That's my look for that. Next one, Milwaukee at New Orleans. This is my least favorite game, but I'll go over everything with you. Milwaukee 8.5 point favorites, total 230.5. Right now the total is at 236.5. It's gone up, and it's 5.5 across the board. Milwaukee, AJ Green quad is ruled out. Everybody's healthy for Milwaukee. Pelicans, Zion, illness, questionable. What else is new? He's always got some sort of issue. Yves Messi, illness, questionable. Herb Jones, out indefinitely, shoulder injury. Brandon Ingram, ankle, out. Yeah, this game is my least favorite game. Not a big fan of this game at all. But I'll give you. I'll mention a few props here and there for anyone interested in this game. Head-to-head 7-3 Milwaukee, 6-4 against the spread, 8-2 to the over. Last 10 meetings, Milwaukee. 7-3 Milwaukee last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Pelicans 7-3 last 10, 7-3 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Pelicans have won 4 straight games, believe it or not. They've played very well. 4-game winning streak. They've gone 3-1 to the over. That's the Pelicans. Milwaukee, 4 straight games here as well. They've covered 4 straight games, but all at home. Now they're on the road, and they have gone 4-0. The only lean, if I had to play this game, I will take the over 236.5. That's the only way to play this game. I'm not playing it personally, but that's the only way to play is the over 236.5. Props for this game. Gotta look at a Giannis. Greek Freak, obvious. Greek Freak is the popular one. We'll look at his points for Greek Freak. Let's see. So Greek Freak and the points. Let's see. Greek Freak over 31 points. So I would take that look. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Especially the last 2 games. He's come on pretty strong. So that's the one look for Greek Freak. Dame Dalla. Damian Lillard. Over 3.5 3-pointers. Dame's hit this number 3 of the last 5 times. So I like over 3.5 3-pointers, Damian Lillard. That's another look. Right, you can look at his assists. Over 4.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So those are good looks for Damian Lillard if you're interested for props. On the Pelicans side, don't see nothing there. Rebounds, C.J. McCollum, over 3.5. He's hit this number 3 in the last 5 times. I would look at assist and rebounds for McCollum, over 8.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. He had 12. Last game he had 12. Assist and rebounds 12. He went over that number. So I would go back to that for C.J. McCollum. That's that for that game, for the props and the game. Next game, Utah at OKC. Charlotte at Memphis. Memphis, 11.5 point favorites, total 236.5. Right now the number is 12. 12's across the board. We are seeing some 12s and a halves, but it's mainly 12. And the number here is at 241. That's what we're looking at right now. For the report here, Charlotte, we'll look at Memphis first. Vince Williams Jr., foot injury, out. Marcus Smart, finger out. Jared Jackson, the second foot injury, out. Charlotte. Brandon Miller, out, wrist injury. Trey Martin, back out. Grant Williams, knee out for the season. So this one here, Memphis, head-to-head, 7-3. Last 10 games, 3-6-1 against the spread, 8-2. Over. That's the head-to-head. Charlotte against other opposition, 4-6. 6-3-1 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. Charlotte, 4-5 last 5 games. They're 4-1 last 5 games. Excuse me. Last 5 games, 3-2 to the over. Last 5 for Charlotte. So they're playing a bit of. Their offense is starting to pick up a little bit. Last 5. Memphis, 6-4 against other opposition, 6-4 against the spread, 6-3-1 to the over. Memphis, 4-1 last 5. They've scored 5-0 to the over. So the only way to look here, I lean to the over, and Memphis -12. I actually personally played this one last night. I took it at minus 12. I already I bet this one at minus 12 yesterday. So I've already played this one minus 12. But I'm also going to look at the over as well too. I like the over. So over for me, 236 I believe. Yes, 236 right now. Just bear with me. I'm going to get back to that. I believe it's 236. I'm just going to double check real quick. Let's see here. Actually, excuse me, not 236. My apologies. It's actually 241. 240. I like the over. Over, and like I said, I already took Memphis minus 12. Next game, Utah at OKC. My next game I'm not interested in really, but for those that are interested, I'll let you know it's minus 17.5 OKC, total 220. Right now, it's at 228 currently. So we're mainly seeing it's majority 227.5, but we're starting to see some 228s, and it's 17.5. Injury reports: Utah, OKC. On the Utah side, as we look at OKC first, then Utah. OKC, Jalen Williams, hip questionable. Isaiah Hartenstein, calf out. Chet Holmgren out. Utah, Cody Williams ruled out, ankle injury. Colin Sexton, game time decision. Injury management injury. Laurie McAmmon, back injury, is questionable to play. He might play tonight. John Collins, he might be out for personal reasons. Jordan Clarkson out, foot injury. I personally passed on this game. I have no interest on this game whatsoever. Is this a clear pass? I'm not playing this one whatsoever. No interest. If you're interested, maybe look at Shea Alexander over in points. That's probably the best look for props. That's it. But I have no interest in this game whatsoever. Next game, Golden State Sacramento. Open up at minus 8 Sacramento. Total 227. Right now we're looking at 7.5. And the total is at 230. It's mainly 230 right now. Injury report for Sacramento. It's been clean. You have a clean slate. Golden State. Draymond Green, calf injury, out. Brandon Pazimicki, abdominal injury. He is out, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, he's out. And Jonathan Kuminga, ankle injury, is out. For this game here, let's look at the history here on this one. Yes, for this matchup, head-to-head, Golden State Sacramento. Last 10 meetings, 5-5 last 10, 4-5 and 1 against the spread, 5-5 to the over. So 5-5 even. Excuse me. They played about 2 weeks ago in Golden State, January 5th. Sacramento was a 3-point underdog. Golden State was favored. Total was 225. Sacramento won 129-99 on the road. Since then, Golden State 5-5 last 10, 4-6 against the spread against other opposition, 5-5 over under. Warriors 3-2 last 5 games, 2-3 to the under. Sacramento 9-1 last 10, 6-3 against the spread, 6-3-1 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Kings playing very well under Doug Christie, playing very, very well. They've won 2 straight games. They've won 4 of their last 5, and they are 3-2 to the over. Let's see here. I gotta look in this game. I have to look to 8 now. The line's 7. I'm going to lean to the over in this game. Over, it's 229. It's gone down a bit, but which I disagree with that going down. I think this goes over the total. Sacramento's been putting up points like it's out of style. Doug Christie has that team playing out of their minds, and the offense has picked up tremendously. Sacramento has a healthy roster, and I like the over in this game. I like over 230 and a half, 229 and a half. Either way, I like the over straight up. That's my play for that game. In terms of the props, obviously Steph Curry, you got to take him for props. Over in points, he's the main guy there in Golden State. They'll be carrying the team. So you got to look at Steph Curry in points. I'm definitely going to be looking at that. Remember, this is a revenge spot for Golden State as well. So you expect them to have a big game. They lost to this team 2 weeks ago. So I expect him to have a great game here. So obviously Steph Curry in points, you got to look at over 25 and a half. He's hit this number 3 the last 5 games. So I like that look. For Sacramento, DeAndre Fox. I would look at, let's see, points and assists. I like this look here. Points and assists over 29 and a half. He's hit this number once in his last 5 games, but he's come close. Last 3 games he came close. He had 26 points the last 2 games, so he missed it by about 4 points. And the game before, 25 points. So I would go back to points and assists. I think he can hit that. Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis. Definitely look at the rebounds. Rebounds, I would do. I would take rebounds over 14 and a half rebounds. So I like that look for Sabonis. He's cleared this number 3 the last 5 times. He had 18 the last game. So I'll definitely look at his rebounds. And if he wants, you can do points and rebounds. 33 and a half is the number. He's cleared this number 4 the last 5 games. So I look at points and rebounds even more. That's even a better look for Sabonis. Doncic Sabonis. Let's see if you see anything else. Let's see. That's it for that game. Nothing else. That's all for that game for the props. Those are the ones I'd look at. Next game is Boston and the Clippers. This one here is open up -6 Boston, total 219 and a half. Right now it's 10 and a half. We've even seen 11s on the board. So the injury report here. Boston, Al Horford, questionable, toe injury. Drew Holiday, shoulder, questionable. Clippers, Zubac, eye injury, out for Wednesday. James Harden, groin injury, questionable. Kawhi Leonard, ruled out Wednesday. PJ Tucker, out. I've already bet this game. I already took Boston -10. It's up to 11. I'd still take Boston at minus 10 and a half, 11. I'd still play it. I think the Celtics take care of business like they've done so many times. So I would definitely take Boston here. That's the play. That's the play. Don't even second or third guess to take the Celtics. I already bet at -10 yesterday. And right now it's at 11, 10 and a half, 11. I'd still take Boston. Either way, I take the Celtics. Now in terms of player props, it's 11 and a half. I'd still take it. I'd still take Boston. Yeah. Still grab it. Jason Tatum. Let's see. Assists over 4.5. He's cleared this number 3 the last 5 times. So you want to look at for Tatum. I would look at his points and assists. Points and rebounds. Excuse me, points and rebounds. I like that one better. He's cleared this number 2 the last 5 times. It's 34.5. But he's come close the last 2 games. He had 31 the last 2 games. But I'd still go back to that. I personally would go back to that. I look at his points and assists. Now, if you're not comfortable with that, we have assists and rebounds. Assists and rebounds is 14.5. He's cleared this number 3 the last 5 times, including the last 2 games. So you have assists and rebounds if you're not comfortable with points and rebounds for the over. So assists and rebounds 14.5 for Tatum, or points and rebounds 34.5. So I personally would do the assists and rebounds over 14.5. He's more consistent there. So I would do that personally if I was to play that prop. Not sure if I'd get there, but that'd be my recommendation. Clippers. Let's see. Points and assists, I look at Norman Powell, over 25.5. He's cleared this number 3 the last 5 times. So I definitely look at the points and assists for Norman Powell. That's a good one. Porzingis over 1.5 3-pointers. I like that one a lot. He's hit this number 4 the last 5 games. He's very consistent there. That's probably the prop I'm going to take more than likely for this game. Porzingis over 1.5 threes. I like that one a lot. So I'll probably get there with that. Jaylen Brown, nothing there. Although I look at his assists. I'm sorry, rebounds. Jaylen Brown rebounds. 5.5 is the clearing number. He's cleared this number 4 the last 5 games. He almost cleared it last game against the Lakers. He had 5. He missed it by 1. So I go back to the rebounds. Jaylen Brown over 5.5 rebounds. I like that one a lot. That's actually a good one. So that's it for the props. In terms of the total for the Celtics game, no play on the total. I just like I take Boston 11.5. I already bet him at -10 already. I already bet that. So even at 11.5, I'd still take him. So that's it for the NBA, for the NBA card. So we're gonna do we're gonna go with the National Hockey League for hockey. For the NHL, Boston, New Jersey. The total's 5.5. Jersey favored. We'll look at this matchup closely. Head-to-head, 8-2 Boston, 6-4 to the over. First meeting of the season between these two teams. Boston 3-5, 1-1 last 10 against other opposition, 6-4 to the over. Last 5, Boston 3-2. Last 5, the over/under. They've gone over in 4 straight games. Boston. New Jersey 2-2, 5, 2-1 last 5. 1-9 to the under. Jersey's lost 4 straight games, but they've gone under 4 of the last 5 games. So what I would do in this case, I would look at Boston team total over 3.5 goals. That's probably that's the way I would look at this game. Boston over 3.5 goals team total. That's the way to look. Yeah, I would play it like that. Let me see here. That's the best look. Boston, New Jersey over 3.5 goals. Let's see. Yeah, I would do over 3.5. That's the I would look at that over 3.5 goals. If you can get at 2.5, I'd still bet the over. But just basically shop around. You got to shop around. Shop around for the. You got to shop around for the totals. You got to shop around for that. Over team total over, like I said, 2.5. 3.5 goals. Yeah, and it's not a bad. It's not bad. 3.5 is good. Jersey over 3.5 is a good look. So I would definitely play that for that game. That's the best look for that. Next game I look at Columbus Toronto in Toronto. Total is 6. 5.5 if you shop around. Toronto favored, head to head, 5-5 even, 6-3-1 to the over. They did play early this season in October in Columbus. Columbus won 6-2 and went over the total. Last 10 meetings, Columbus against other opposition, 7-2-1 last 10, 5-5 over under. Toronto last 10, 7-3 last 10, 5-5 over under. Columbus, they're on a 4-game road trip. They're 0-2 on the road trip. They've gone under the first 2 games of the road trip. So their scoring has gone down a bit on the road trip. Struggling to score on the road trip. So right now, and they've gone under 5 straight games. That's interesting. Toronto, 7-3 last 10, 5-5 over under. Leafs, 3-2 last 5. Leafs have won 3 straight games. And they are 3-2 to the over. Let me take a look at this. This is interesting. This is very interesting. This is a very interesting game. This one here is very interesting. We know the first meeting they went over the total. This one here, very interesting look here. It's 6.5. I'm going to lean to the under 6.5 goals. I'm going to take the under in this game. It looked like the Leafs were an under team the last few games, but they've come on strong, especially at home to the over. They've been averaging about 4 or more goals the last 3 games. They've been coming on, like I said, especially at home. But I'm going to lean to the under here. Columbus, again, they've lost 2 straight games, but the games that they've lost on the road, the defense is coming on. I notice Columbus's defense is coming on a little bit with these 5 straight unders. Their defense, and they say defense. You can take your defense on the road to play on the road. So their defense is coming on here, and I think that carries over here in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. I'm going to lean to the under. I might even get to the window here with the under 6.5 goals. I like the under 6.5. Remember, they played 5 straight unders. Last 2 unders were in New York, 1-0 in a shootout, and in Long Island against the Islanders, 3-1. So I like the under here. I like the under a lot. Under 6.5 for me. I'll more than likely get to the window here for the under. So you can put me down under 6.5 Leafs and Columbus. I know the first game they played last year when in November went over the total in Columbus, but things have changed in 2 months. In 2 months, a lot of things have changed. So I like the under here, under 6.5. But shop around for this one. You got to shop around a bit because some books may have it at 6. So let me check this now and see. I know some books got it at 6. I'm gonna double check this. So you really got to shop around here. But I like the under. FanDuel has it at 6.5. So yeah, FanDuel 6.5.
Final.
Some women was at 6. Shop around. If you get a 6.5, bet the under. 6, I'd even bet the under too. I'm on the under. So definitely take that. I like that a lot. Next game, Winnipeg at Colorado. 5.5 is the total. Colorado favored. This one here, head-to-head 5-5, 7-3 to the over. Last 10. They played 3 times already. First meeting was in Winnipeg. Total was 6.5. It was 1-0 Winnipeg. Second game was in Colorado. December 31st, New Year's Eve, in Colorado. Total was 6.5. It went over. Colorado won 5-2 at home. Third game in Winnipeg. It was about 2 weeks ago, and it was under 6, 3-0. This game is in Colorado. My take here, I like Colorado on the money line. This seems like a series where, and this is the fourth and final meeting in the series. I like Colorado to even the series because this looks like a series where the home team usually wins on their home ice. So I like Colorado on the money line. This is what I'm seeing here. In terms of the over/under, I don't have a plan on the over/under. I'll take Colorado. Colorado for me on the money line at home. I think they win this game and even the series because, like I said, in this particular series, the way it's going, the home team's winning on their home ice. So Colorado for me in this one. Next game, Florida at LA. Florida 5.5 points. Over. The total's 5.5. LA favored in this one. Head to head, 6-4 LA, 5-4-1 to the over. First meeting of the season, Florida 5-4-1 last 10 against other opposition, 4-6 to the under. LA 6-4 last 10, 5-5 to the over under. Florida played last night. They won 5-2 at Anaheim. They've won 2 straight games. And the last 5, they've gone 3-2 to the over. LA last 5. Lost 2 straight games. Second game off the road trip. Lost 5-1 at Pittsburgh. They've lost 2 in a row. They are 3-2 to the over. In this game here, got to take Florida Panthers on the puck line, plus $1.38. I like Florida Panthers on the puck line for that game. Okay, so that's it. We've done. We reviewed all the games for NBA and the NHL. So we've done our reviews again. So just mull over what we talked about, the leans, and I've given you a few takes already for the games I like. And give you a couple leans. I will come back this afternoon to finalize those picks, the other picks that I didn't make. I like a few of them already that I might get to the window on. Even though I've gotten to the window on a few already for the NBA, I may have a few more that I'm gonna make official plays. So until then, just think about what we talked about this morning, and then this afternoon I'll give you my final plays for that. And then we're gonna come back this afternoon. We're gonna talk about college basketball. Got a lot of games to go over for that. So until then, for the NBA NHL games, think about that. And stay true to yourself, stay blessed, stay humble, believe in yourself. And I'll see you this afternoon for the college basketball edition. Peace, take care.